Hey everyone, I'm Francis, and with me is
Davia,
and you are listening to
At the Intersection. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, this is a podcast powered by Black Students Support and Engagement, aka BSSE, at Humber Polytechnic. At the Intersection was created to empower, educate, and uplift Black students by sharing authentic stories, celebrating culture, and highlighting issues and opportunities in post-secondary life. Over the course of this show, we have conversations with a range of panelists to discuss topics that matter to us and you. Before we begin, we'll tell you a bit about ourselves. My name is Francis. Well, my full name actually is Honorable Francis Osifo. Most people call me Francis. I'm a fourth-year student in the Bachelor of Child and Youth Care program here at Humber Polytechnic at Lakeshore Campus. I've also worked with BSSE for about 2 years now as an outreach assistant. And I was the previous chair for your student union Ignite. Well, anyways, so in terms of hobbies, a few things I like to do. I like to play basketball. I've been told I'm a good chef, you know. Some people call me Chef Francis, you know.
Who told you that?
Oh my goodness, you don't want to know. In the next episodes, you're going to hear more about all the cool stuff I do on campus and out of campus. But it's not all about me. The other host here too is also Davia too. Davia, so you're here, sitting here. We know you're very creative, very energetic, very talented. Tell us about yourself, Davia.
Okay. So yeah, my name is Davia. I'm a student at Humber. I am a social service student. I'm currently in my last year. I worked as a program assistant for BSSE for almost 2 years now. I'm very grateful for the experience and where it's taken me so far. Also, one of my hobbies I like to do is like look outside and admire nature. I think a lot of people need to do that. Just take walks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you forgot the most important one.
What is that?
Talk about it. Come on.
Talk about what?
You just won an award. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I just won an award.
Just won an award.
Okay, yeah. So for those who may not know,
Yeah.
I just won my first scholarship. It's called the Black Excellence from. Yeah, I won my first scholarship, a Black Excellence from Ignite.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I can't believe I won, big up.
Yeah, I just said big up. Black excellence for you. That's Black excellence for you. Okay. Thank you, Davia. Now let's get started. So our first topic, this is our first episode actually. Our first,
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is our first episode.
And now we are going to be talking about what we wish we knew in our first year at Humber. More specifically, we want to, reflect on growth, mistakes, we all make mistakes, and advice for new Black students coming. So, maybe we should start with this question. How would we describe our first year experience at Humber? How would you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. My first year at Humber was like an eye-opening for me. I think I originally started my first year in post-secondary in the pandemic, but my first experience in Humber in person, I definitely learned a lot along the way. And I still carry it to this day. But yeah.
And you said you started your post-secondary in the pandemic.
In the pandemic, yes.
Must be hard.
It was. It was hard to focus. It was kind of it was something I wasn't used to. I wasn't sitting next to anyone in class. I wasn't able to reach my teachers after class or just in the moment. I had to give them emails. And sometimes they wouldn't get in touch with you until 5 days later. So it was difficult change.
I can imagine how excited you were when you actually heard that the pandemic was the whole thing was coming to an end and you could come back to school to meet people.
Yeah, I was happy. I was nervous at the same time because I didn't know what to expect because I know everyone was kind of uncomfortable a little bit, coming out of the pandemic, being around everyone. So when it was time, I was okay, I'm really happy, but I'm also very scared because I don't know how they're going to organize everything.
Oh, yeah. For me, My first year at Humber was actually smooth. I mean, it was not my first year. For those of you who may not know, I'm a mature student, I know. For some of you who may not know, I know I may look a little younger, but like, yeah, well, like I'm a mature student. Who's laughing in the background? Come on, it's young Francis. Yeah. But for some of you who don't know, I'm actually a mature student. Don't ask me my age. Yeah, so I had been to some post-secondary schools in the past before. I had some education before. And but returning this time was a bit different, different mindset. I was able to navigate things. I won't say it was very, very easy, but like it was a different experience. I mean, I didn't get to experience it from a pandemic perspective like you. I know it was definitely very hard for you, but for me, it was just, it was a different experience. But initially, I had done some university stuff, so it was a bit different from Polytechnic like we have it now. Polytechnic is more hands-on and stuff, so yeah. But anyways, let's move on to another important question. So what are some fears you carried during your first semester, like going into, Humber? What's some fears you had? Maybe some things that you were worried about and stuff. And I can share if you want me to go first.
Yeah, I would like to hear your perspective first.
I mean, for me, like I said, I was a mature student, right? Coming back, it was like coming back as a mature student at first. I was worried about the things. I was worried about if I would fit in. I was worried about social skills. I was worried about balancing life. I was worried about, how to figure things out. But, things worked out somehow.
For your first year?
My first year I was very, very much worried, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
My first year, kind of what you said. I was really trying to focus on networking and knowing how I am and knowing that I'm just someone who likes to be by themselves and all that, and is very introverted. Yeah, like it's very hard for me to just reach out to anyone and then just try to build connection and just try to build even just friendships and everything like that. That was definitely a hard time that I carried through my first semester. Yeah,
I know you say introverted and, then you also mentioned networking, but I see you do a few things these days, so could you talk about how you were able to overcome those fears, able to bridge those barriers to make you start networking and, get to yourself? Some of you may not know, but she actually works at BSSE too, So tell us about how you're able to, bridge those barriers and,
I think really what honestly helped me is when I came to BSSE. I think being able to be surrounded by people who were someone I kind of just admired that I wanted to be. I wanted to be able to talk to people. I wanted to be able to develop some of the skills that they have. I think being around that much kind of pushed me into doing it. And they did push me. They would definitely tell me okay, do it. Do it. Yeah, go there.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
You gotta do it. Just do it.
Just
okay?
do it.
So I think that push kind of definitely helped me to navigate doing other things and doing things that I wanted to do, but I was too scared to do it. So I'm very happy that I was able to.
Yeah. Very similar to me. It's basically just putting yourself, leaving your comfort zone and just saying, you know what, we have to do what we have to do to move on. And it's very amazing, very amazing. And let's talk about BSSE, the Black Student Support and Engagement Space. The two beautiful ones we have at Lakeshore and North Campus. And how has this, spaces, you shared a bit of those a minute ago, but could you just share, if you're okay sharing that first, how your experiences in these spaces has really, shaped your experiences as at Humber in general?
It let me know that there is a community here.
Yeah.
In post-secondary, that you're not alone, and there's people that are probably going through which you're probably struggling or stressing over, and to be able to be surrounded by them, I think that's one thing that I experienced. And there's so much resources here that you can get from BSSE, really thrive on trying to make Black students accessible to the new resources out there.
Yeah, talking about thriving and growing and winning on the campus, I like to I actually want to give a round of applause to BSSE. Yeah, for some of you that may know or may not know, I talk about BSSE a lot. I brag a lot about my successes on campus and how it all came from BSSE. I would have never become an Ignite Student Union leader if I
Union leader.
The chair.
My bad. The chair. Union leader.
I never would have become the chair if I never actually came into BSSE. To be honest, I was actually just doing my job, doing my own thing when Ignite came into BSSE to promote the event and stuff like that. Encourage students encourage Black students to actually take part in a student government. And it was people in the room, that told me, hey, you know what, Francis, you can do this, you can do that. So I got the support. I was never a person that liked any form of politics. I was never a person that liked any form of, government and stuff. But community really made me accomplish that. So yeah, if you're somebody that's thinking about, doing something in life, I think BSSE is the place for you.
I recommend as well.
All right. So during your first year at Humber, were you able to balance school, social life, self-care at Humber? Were you able to do you want to touch on that?
I think I tried to. Mm-hmm. I'm a visual learner, so I kind of just wanted to maybe write things down so I can remember certain stuff. And I think that was what kind of helped me balance everything, because I tend to book everything all at once. I'll be like, I'm doing this, but then I forgot that I'm doing something else that day as well, right? And that can really mess up your schedule. Yeah. So I think writing things down, when it comes to assignments, breaking them into parts so it won't be too hard on you. Those little things I think those kind of helped me, and also just making time for myself as well, because I feel like when you're just so stuck into school and work, you don't really have time for yourself, and then you can just I feel like you would experience burnout. And so I really thrived on trying to make some time for myself, whether just going out by myself or read a book by yourself. Just make sure to have time for yourself.
That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint to the scholarship, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So that's very true. That's very true. Very good actually. For me, balancing school, I would say I've been doing a good job. I mean, I better be doing a good job. I'm a mature student.
Yeah, you better.
So, I got bills to pay. I got stuff to do. But yeah, I try my best. I try to, figure out things. Planning, like you said, is very, very important. Organizing yourself. Sometimes life may come in the way, but you just gotta keep striving, keep, staying positive, and keep moving. And so I'm gonna ask another question. This is more because I know you moved away from somewhere, right? You moved away from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Oh, somewhere in Ontario.
Yeah, I moved away from somewhere.
Somewhere in Ontario.
Yeah.
Down to Ontario, right?
Okay.
Down to Ontario, right?
I moved from somewhere. Yeah,
you moved from somewhere. All right. So so did you experience homesickness at some point when you moved here in first year? Did you experience homesickness? You're not an international student, right?
I'm not an international student. I'm a domestic student.
Okay.
I think my first semester, I definitely experienced severe homesickness, where I just felt so alone, and I felt like I needed support. I feel like when you're living with your parents, they kind of have everything kind of organized for you, and then when you're living on your own for the first time, it's very scary. So the fact that I didn't really know what to do was kind of a scary experience. But yeah, the first semester was definitely a time.
So Humber has a lot of international students, people coming from Africa, from Asia, from other places. Do you have any advice for students that are coming from back home, things they could do to survive on campus, especially as a Black student? So what are some things they could do to keep themselves going?
Yeah, I definitely recommend definitely kind of making the school your second home. if you can. Definitely joining clubs, like joining the events. Like Humber has a lot of events, has a lot of resources you can go to. You know, even getting a job down here if you can. Like I think once you start doing that, I feel like the experience becomes a less easier for you. Like you don't like think of homesickness. So I definitely recommend that. Yeah, that's what kind of helped me through my first year as well.
Yeah, you know, community is a very important part because I even remember, like, this is not Humber, but back when I was in other institutions, you know, I remember not being part of some, you know, some group gatherings and stuff, and I know how much it's really made me feel sick because I used to be an international student then. It made me really feel really homesick. But like, for example, in Humber, even though I'm not international, even though I'm not like my family's here and everything, while here right now, because I'm still involved heavily on campus, right? It still gives me this homely feeling. I still feel like, hey, I have my fellow black people together. I have my fellow friends together. I have people here I can, you know, people that understand life from where I'm coming from too. So yeah, what advice would you give someone that is just starting the first year at Humber Polytechnic? Like, what's something you give them?
I would recommend definitely putting your stuff out there. Like, definitely joining clubs, like I said, finding the resources here, connecting with others. Networking is a big thing, and it can get you so far. I definitely recommend pushing yourself out there and, like, just getting the field. No, I'm playing.
For me, it's just find BSSE. You're a black student walking around, I'm telling you, find, I was going to say find Francis.
Find Francis, guys. You guys,
Find BSSE. Come to BSSE, I'm telling you, come to BSSE. It's the place to be. It's the place that can change your life. Those dreams you have, those places you want to go, we can connect you to the right resources on campus. One thing I learned from this conversation basically is that community is everything. And just, you know, stay positive and keep going.
So thank you for listening to today's episode at The Intersection. For everyone listening, please join the conversation by Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search BSSE Humber. And remember, you are bold, you are brilliant, and you belong. Thank you.